have a mayday being reported from engine 2.
I mean, this is a young member on the department, new to the department, newly married, young child, and there's just, you know, even people who've been on the department a long time aren't always prepared for this immediate and sudden loss, even though it is part of our job.
Buffalo's bravest continue to mourn the loss of one of their own. This afternoon, we're now able to tell you his name. Jason Arno was 37 years old, newly married, and a father to a 3-year-old daughter. He'd been a Buffalo firefighter for just 3 years. It's also the first time since 2009 this department has experienced a firefighter death at a fire. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on News 4 at 4. I'm Dave Graber. Jordan is off today. Hearts are heavy again across western New York today as we are learning new details about the fire and about the legacy that Jason Arno is leaving behind. We have live team coverage for you this afternoon. Our Marley Tuskus is here with a breakdown of the investigation. Our Jeff Preval is at the scene with the details on that Mayday call. But first, we send things out to our Sarah Minkowitz, who is live at Engine 2, where Jason Arno was based. Sarah?
Dave, those who knew Jason Arno and worked with him say that he loved being a firefighter, that he was always positive, and that he was brave. Now, Jason Arno was a Buffalo firefighter for the last 3 years. We've learned, as you mentioned, that he was married and has a daughter. The 37-year-old died while battling a fire yesterday on Main Street. The Buffalo Fire Department says he was an extraordinary young man who committed his life to the service of others. Now, we talked to Vinny Ventruska today. He's the president of the Buffalo Firefighters Union. He says words cannot describe this tragedy and how devastated they all are. He went on to talk about the type of person Arno was.
He was a well-liked firefighter. For myself, I met him numerous times and had the pleasure of working with him a few times. And I can just see his face, and it's just that smile. And he was always a great guy to be around.
Now, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown and Fire Commissioner William Ronaldo talked today about meeting Arno's family, including his wife and daughter, to help them during this time. And the Firefighters Union is collecting donations on behalf of the family. People can drop off their donations at the Union Hall. That's on Southside Parkway. We'll have that information up on our website at WIVB.com. For now, reporting live in Buffalo, Sarah Minkowitz, News 4.
Sarah, thank you. Meanwhile, the investigation into the cause of that fire continues. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives was on site last night and throughout today alongside Buffalo and state fire investigators. Our Marley Tuskus joins us now. And Marley, this is really the reason the demolition that had been started of that building has now been stopped.
That's right, Dave. They need to get a full investigation on it before that demolition continues. I'll have more on that in just a moment. But first, city officials say it is standard practice to have the ATF on scene during an investigation like this one. Fire Commissioner William Ronaldo says it is still too early to say what exactly caused that fire to start. He says when crews arrived on scene, everything developed within minutes. As we learned yesterday, the explosion at the site was actually a backdraft, something Ronaldo says is very rare, but it happens when oxygen is introduced to the heated gases caused by the fire. He says controlled ventilation is the best defense against this from happening, but it's clear the fire had been burning for quite some time before the backdraft happened.
A lot of times the fire and the smoke is hidden in different voids depending on the structure, the interior structure, especially when it's under renovation. So that superheated gas and the smoke may be contained, and in this particular situation, the firefighters, when they first entered the structure, it was actually pretty clear, but then it deteriorated very rapidly because they did introduce oxygen when they entered the building.
Now, as we just noted, the emergency demolition of this building that began last night is paused while the ATF is here and the investigation continues. The roads around that site are blocked off to traffic indefinitely. Because of how unstable the structure is, Buffalo police are on scene to make sure people stay away. The city will also be putting up fencing around that area for the time being. In the studio, Marley Tuskus, News 4.